kind of wanted to discuss really quickly how amazing of a compendium this is. So I got this for Christmas, and I kind of read this like straight away at Christmas, and then I sort of read about half of it, and then took a bit of a break as I read Gesture on Green Lantern, and some other things like I've been reading Lord of the Rings, but then I picked it back up, and I didn't stop because it was bad at all. I loved it. Every last issue is amazing. But I picked it up and finished it relatively recently. I just wanted to talk about how amazing it is. It's a compendium for the death and return of Superman. Now, spoiler in the title of what it's about, the death of Superman and then his subsequent return. And it kind of follows, so obviously, the major plot lines in it is the death of Superman, so his battle with Doomsday. Following that is sort of, I think it's like, there is like a bit where it's just the morning of Superman, and I'm not really sure how to describe it, but I think that's kind of a part of the death of Superman storyline. Following that is the reign of the Superman, where four Supermen, or four people claiming to be Superman, come, and it's just about their sort of trials and tribulations. Now, if you are a fan of Superman, it's really, or if you want to read more about him, it's really important because it contains that storyline. But in the reign of the Superman, there is the origin of Superboy, who is really important to Superman lore. But then also, if you're a fan of like Titans or Young Justice or just Superboy in general, his origin is in this. Cyborg Superman, who is a really cool villain, but then also is really important to Green Lantern lore. And then John Henry Irons, or Steel, who was at his own run, and he's very important. Sort of, he's more ingrained in modern Superman stuff, but it's really cool to see his origin. And then there's also, what's this? Oh, that's gonna pay me off. Yeah, so the Eradicator is the fourth Superman, who shows up, who is, I don't know much about, like, I hadn't really heard of him. The idea of the Eradicator was used in Superman and Lois in the first season, and that was kind of an interesting plotline. But yeah, he's in this. But then obviously it entails, after the reign of Superman, the return of Superman is the next thing, with obviously Kal-El coming back to life. It's really great. The weakest part, I would say, is it contains the Bloodlines event, which is quite an interesting idea. It's about these aliens, and they come and they feast on human spinal fluid. It's really creepy, and it's a creepy idea, but it's just the weakest part because of the fact that you're reading it and it's really great action, like literally in the climactic thing with each issue, it's like this big climax, and then you suddenly cut away to Superboy and he's fighting these weird aliens, and it's kind of like not really what I'm reading, like what I'm wanting to read, but it's there. And I think if I read it on its own, like it's like a trade, I mean, it's only like 4 issues spread throughout the entire compendium, but read as like a trade, relatively interesting. But because of the fact that it's in this, where I'm wanting to know about Superman and wanting to know how he comes back, I'm really excited, but then it kind of draws away from that. That's the only real downside, I would say. Other than that, it's really amazing, and I've given it a 5-star on Goodreads. It's about, is it 1,300 pages? Hang on, let me see. 1,370, and it's just in that peak of DC during the 90s. You know, this was like a phenomenally important story, and I would say the main reason, one of the main reasons I was really excited to read it, I really love Superman, and I just wanted to read more about him, but then I wanted to also read it because it was important for Green Lantern lore, because at the end of it, the destruction of Coast C occurs, which is obviously very important to so much, because it leads on to Parallax and the destruction of Lantern Corps, which then obviously subsequently leads into Jeff Johns' Green Lantern Rebirth. So that was really exciting for me, and Hal Jordan does feature quite heavily in the final sort of battle which is again quite interesting. It has some really cool sort of plot lines, and it's obviously it's a bit silly in some parts. Like it's still got that early, but again, it's also really serious and somber in other parts. I think some of my favorite characters, Superboy was really cool, and he was fun and stupid. It was really cool how I think they used Lois's character, because obviously after Superman dies, before the reign of the Superman, Lois is kind of the main focus for a while, because, well, she's grieving the loss of Clark and Superman, because even though they are the same person to her, to everyone else, and also in a way to her, they are two different people, because of the fact that, you know, it's a different person. But yeah, so it's really interesting how they use Lois, and it kind of shows her as a person is separate to Superman, which I think is really important to her as a character. She's meant to be very independent. Otherwise, other interesting parts was Supergirl, who was Matrixy, and not as in Kara Zor-El. She's, I don't actually know her name. Is she Linda Danvers, or is that a different one? I don't know. But she's in this, and she's not Superman's cousin. She has like the consciousness of Lana Lang, I believe that's how it works. And she's called the Matrix, and she's this weird thing. But again, she's used in here, and it's quite interesting. And there's some clever use because she can shapeshift, because she's not like regular Supergirl. And there's some clever uses of her shapeshifting ability. But yeah, it was really great, and I think anyone who is a Superman fan, who's a Green Lantern fan, or just likes comic books should read this. It's really fantastic, and I think as well, the main start with Doomsday, I think that really shows sort of Superman's idea of hope and persistence, and the idea that he doesn't give up, and he fights through everything. Because, I mean, there's this great moment where, I'm not really going to spoil it, where he has the opportunity to, you know, chase after Doomsday or save people, and it kind of shows him overcoming that almost in a way ego or need or anger, and it shows that he can come back and he wants to fight. Yeah, he wants to save people. But that's a really great moment, and it shows there's a few of those throughout. It shows how good of a character he is, I think. But yeah, fantastic book, really important. I mean, it's a really well-known story. I mean, there's a this part, actually, I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it, but here is it in, it'll be in here somewhere. They have people who have given quotes on the death of Superman, like famous people, and some of them are obviously in-universe characters like Bruce Wayne and Lex Luthor. But then another one is that they use real life people, and one such person was I want to see if I can find it. I don't think I'll be able to find it. But it was Shaquille O'Neal, because he's a very big Superman fan, and he gave like a quote about it. Oh, is this the big fold out one? Hang on, sorry, I'm kind of just talking to myself here. Yeah, and there's this big fold out image. The art is fantastic in this as well. Look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? And this is a big fold out page. So buff. But yeah, just very amazing art as well. And there's some earlier stuff that I thought was great. But yeah, kind of just rambling here. But it's just a fantastic book, and everybody should read it. Thank you for listening to my ramblings, and go buy The Death of Superman compendium right now.